Okay, welcome again. This is another talk through with Red Negative. This time we're doing We Are Free. You'll notice it's slightly different this time. Instead of Sam doing the hosting role, it's me doing the hosting role because he actually wrote this song.
I know.
I know. He does a lot of the producing. He does a lot of the producing and recording, but he can write too. So
he does a lot of the producing.
All of the producing.
Thank you.
And we also have Andy here, who is also key to this song. So yeah,
along for the ride.
I guess we'll start with the initial concepts. Where did it come from, and how did you develop it?
Yeah. So I wanted to write a song that was there specifically to engage with the crowd. I envisioned this big call and response section specifically there for that purpose, as well as I wanted the climactic section of the song to build through the call and response, but I wanted the biggest sections of the song to come in the little break between chorus and verse, because there's just something a bit different. You don't hear that very often in many songs at all, and I like songs that do that. It makes sense to me, and it means the chorus can feel like sort of a pre-chorus, and the chorus can just build all the way through it and create this massive release when you get to the end of it. So that was my idea behind the song.
So compared to most music we write, instead of starting with any lyrics or any tune or any form of chords, you started with this big wide concept that was quite abstract. And so how on earth did you get that down as music as opposed to just in your head?
So the first thing you need to understand is that these guys will testify I'm a pretty bad lyricist, generally speaking. I got very lucky on this song, and that it wasn't utter garbage. But yeah, it was the idea that I came up with in terms of the music, because I'm a pretty poor guitarist, despite being the guitarist in this band. I like chord shapes that are just the E chord moving up and down the fretboard. So in this case, it's the chords both. It's a G sharp major and a A major over an E in the bass, and I love the way that sounds. I feel like it's got a nice ring to it, and it's just a nice progression. And so that's what I started with. That was like, okay,
yeah,
reverse, let's do that. So I had that written already. That's the chord progression I started with, but I initially started writing the song from the bridge because the idea was for this call and response bit. So that's the bit that I wrote first. So the first thing I had to do was come up with something that sounds good being shouted out and shouted back. And we are young, we are free, we will know it's okay. It's okay was sketchy. But the first three, they were like, okay, that's solid. So let's make this song. It was something I was going through a bit of a crisis at the time, as musicians we all are, constantly. And it was a bit of a sort of, everyone was telling me like, okay, sure, you want to work in music, but like, it probably won't work out. And so I came up with this idea that's like, I don't care if I fail. I'd rather try and fail than never push the boat out and never chase that dream.
So you went from this call and response bridge, and then that gave you the sort of the feel for the song, the concept in terms of message that you wanted to work with. Yeah,
it gave the vibe.
I think it's a sentiment that is very central to the band itself, as an extension of us obviously wanting to. We're putting a lot of our hearts and our time into this, and then sometimes money. And I think it very much, when at least when I first saw the lyrics, I think that's what it very much resonated for me. And not only, I know very much it was obviously a personal feeling for you, but it resonated with me quite well with the sort of the whole band and the whole project we're working on.
Yeah.
So you went from that bridge and you wrote the verses and chorus. You just came up with another chord progression and lyrics and.
Yeah. So I can't remember the exact order. I'm pretty sure I went bridge first and then I wrote the chorus. But I wrote the chorus. I don't know. I started writing lyrics, which I intended to be the verse, and then I was like, "This is a chorus."
Yeah.
And after I had those lyrics, I wrote that chorus progression around it. And again, that chorus, when I write, the reason I'm rubbish at lyrics is because I write things based purely on how they sound. I couldn't
Yeah.
give two shits about lyrics, to be honest. And so I wrote this progression knowing what the verse progression was the first thing I came up with. And so I knew what I wanted the chorus progression to be in relation to that. So it was very stark, sort of regimented, pounding, driving, straight up chords, voiced very sort of normally. And then the arrangement of the song I was going to have to make it feel like it was building, as opposed to obviously the verse, which is just sort of very laid back and very flowy.
Well, I think one of the big strengths that you have as a songwriter that you often undersell, and I'm sure I've probably said this in a previous video, is your ability to pick a tune out from some chords and some lyrics.
Yeah.
I think that's very obviously helped you a lot in this song when writing it, because I mean you started with a bridge, and then obviously if you're working backwards with chords, then being able to pluck a tune out of the air is really key, and that shows a lot. It's a very singable tune, very, especially throughout the chorus, it's very catchy, very singable, and a really nice tune over the chords that you had.
Cheers, man.
So and also one other thing I remember you telling me was that you wrote this directly onto our Google Drive. You didn't go through any you didn't go through any process really yourself before showing it to us. It literally went straight from your mouth to us, or your heart, I don't know.
It was definitely my brain, not my heart. Yeah, I totally completely just vomited this up onto our drive with so I demoed it. I didn't do a voice note recording at all. I went straight in and demoed it in my DAW, because I was working through it in that way. I had a drum part in mind, I had this arrangement in mind from the very off, and so I knew that if I did a voice note version, it wouldn't have that kind of impact at all. So I wanted to make sure there was a contextualized demo for you all to hear, so you all knew exactly what was going on with it.
People say I'm in my own world with my head stuck in the clouds, but I don't want to come down. Well, maybe
I think
when you wrote this, it was when you wrote this, it was we'd almost finished the album, hadn't we? We had 11 tracks.
Yes.
And this was almost we were waiting to master everything and finish everything up. And so that makes sense to me that you wanted to come, as you thought you wanted to come in straight at a further point down the road.
Well, it was very much the case that I knew that if I did the voice note and everyone liked it, I would have had to demo it anyway. And if I'd done the voice note and everyone hadn't liked it, I'd have said, I'll demo it so you can hear some context. So I would have had to demo it anyway. It just made sense to demo it. But yeah, in terms of timing, this song came after, it was we were still waiting to finalize Drowning Eyes. And I was just, I didn't have any specific work to do. We were waiting on bits to be recorded, and I was like, I've had this idea for a song for ages, and I happen to be in a songwriting project at the moment, so let's try and write this thing. And it came really fast. And I think it was, I look back at the document and it was 38 minutes, I think, from me putting an initial word onto that document, and I think it was writing down the chord sequences first. I think it was 38 minutes from that first word hitting the document to the entire song being written.
So very much a stream of consciousness.
Oh yeah, I was in the zone with this one.
Well, I think that's one of the nicest moments of writing, is when everything comes really easy and naturally, and it's often where the best music is written, because it's all very close to the concept you want. It's very very pure, very true to the message, and I think that shows.
It helped with this that it wasn't like the way I was writing was from the climax of the song. I knew where I needed it to go. Whereas most songs, when you start writing, you start with the first verse and then see where the song goes.
Yeah.
I think that definitely helped in terms of the speed of it coming together. I didn't have to do any figuring out really. I just had to decipher what I wanted. Damn, that sounds
So,
pretentious,
yeah.
doesn't it?
But I'm bound to lose my way. Well, that's just fine by me. Because even in my short time, I know that getting lost is the only way to see the things you need to see. Because I know there's more to be had.
Okay, so we've had a listen to that, and the first thing that stands out to me is obviously we had several lyric changes. I don't think there were many, but there are
No.
a few, I guess. I don't know which ones did you pick up on?
I think there was only a couple. So initially the first line was people say I'm in my own world with my head stuck in the clouds, but I don't want to come down.
Yeah.
That got changed to in a place yet to be found.
Yeah, I
Which
guess we maybe thought that was a bit. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Don't want to come down. Maybe we thought it was just a bit wishy-washy. Maybe.
yeah,
Because of Sky High, wasn't it?
yeah,
I don't actually mention
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's an unreleased song, but it was the same line from Song What Happened. We just didn't want to repeat ourselves.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
yeah. And it definitely rolls off
Epic
the tongue
song.
better. Saying it now in a place yet to be found is a really nice line to sing.
Yeah, I like it thematically as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. And then from there, there were really minor changes. The
Yeah.
second line was, it was initially, well, maybe they are right, and that got changed to, well, maybe that is true.
Yeah.
Again,
that seems pretty obvious change.
yeah, it was again, it's just a vocal thing. And then the last line, then just be stuck, got changed to then be stuck just spinning around. Because again, that's the way it sounds to sing.
I mean, this. Whenever you go on about being a bad lyricist, this song, I think is proof that you're not as bad as you like to say.
I
that
will
you are.
freely admit that this song is a fluke of all flukes.
Is it like monkeys on typewriters?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We'll revisit this conversation after the next 5 flukes you have.
Yeah. We'll clip you on that.
I feel like I'm yet to have
Oh, yeah.
another fluke.
Well,
I've made many
that.
attempts.
I would say, show me your love. We will see.
We'll see.
Another teaser for the people out there.
Yeah, we're teasing a lot in this.
Oh,
Hopefully,
yeah.
some of it actually comes to fruition. Otherwise, whoops. Yeah. Beyond that, the second line of the chorus, "I want to see where this road leads," originally was, "I want to see where this road goes." I
Yeah,
think that was Adam just wanting a different word, and no good reason to deny him if he.
Yeah.
To me, that was much of a muchness that I had
Mhm.
no real feelings on either of them. I don't think one's
Well,
particularly better than the other.
I think that was Adam coming in with his influence on how he likes to sing the words, how the words sound in the way he pronounces them. So I think that was fair enough.
No, it is more than fair. And then the only other line that got changed was the second line of the second verse, which is, "and that's okay with me." Initially it was, "and that's just fine by me."
Yeah.
And I think it was just a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah. The weird thing is, looking back, obviously in my mind, when I always find "okay" in a song a bit of an awkward word to sing around, but this is one song that because I think I had an issue in the bridge with "and it's okay." I think for a while I just didn't like the way that sounded.
Yeah.
I think for me, obviously you talked me around to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just one thing that sticks out to me, is that normally I don't think that would always work in a lot of songs, but it works fine.
Yeah. But yeah,
Anything else on the
lyrically, that's all that got changed.
Yeah, and then listening to that, the big difference in terms of feel is that you've got this this straight drum beat. I think is the big difference. And,
so yeah, that was me just throwing some drums down. As I said, I was excuse me. As I said, I was demoing this as I wrote it, pretty much, and so those drums just had to be there. And the drums were something which were fine. I think we would have been able to get away with them had they stayed. But Andy had this idea for a sort of halftime feel, slightly displaced drum part, which just brought the song to life.
I don't wanna come down. Well, maybe they are right, but I'd rather be a dreamer than just be stuck spinning around. Because I know there's more to be had.
If I remember correctly, when this song you first brought it, I don't think I was involved with this song until a bit later on. I think it was very much you and Andy took it away and took several iterations of it straight from the off.
I'm not sure. In my memory of this one, you came in pretty early on with the lyrics. In my memory, you and Andy both came in, and Andy said he had an idea for the drums, and then me and you were working through the lyrics. And then halfway through the lyrics pass, Adam joined. And it all came together really quickly.
My memory is all over the place.
Yeah, that might not be the case, but that's how I remember things happening.
Yeah, I do remember this song coming together really, really quickly, because at this point, after having written basically the entire rest of the album, we were like a well-oiled machine when it comes to songwriting.
Yeah.
And I remember the song being super easy to work on.
Yeah, well,
it was because I talked over you earlier, Andy. But coming back to the halftime drum feel, I may have messed up in a chronological sense.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the order's always hard to remember going back. But as for the drums, I remember when Sam sort of explained his initial idea about how it wanted to sort of like grow and swell at the end into this huge sort of massive finale. I figured that sort of like halftime sort of like looser feel with that displacement sort of introduces a little bit of tension, which is like released in the chorus. Because I remember we were in a call with Max talking through the drum parts, and I would like go away and program a little bit. But we got to the chorus, and the 4 on the floor was Max's idea, and displacing that like snare backbeat from 3 to 4 every other bar, I think had this like effect where when it resolves the 4 on the floor, it just sounds huge, and it really does deliver on that massive like growing feel, I suppose.
Definitely. And initially, when you brought the drums for the chorus, initially you programmed it so that the kick was offbeat, like it is in the very last bar or so of the chorus. And I remember you brought that to me, and you were like, I think that just sounds cool. And then I remember pulling the kicks back so they were on the beat, except for that last one, and you were just like, yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's what it wants. And it just sounded, it sounded like it was just building in tension, and then this release at the end of the chorus was just beautiful.
Yeah, the drum beat in this is, I think, one of my favorites out of all the songs we have.
Yeah, definitely.
People say I'm in my own world, with my head stuck in the clouds, but I don't wanna come down. Well, maybe they are right, but I'd rather be a dreamer than just be stuck spinning around. Because I know there's more to be had. I wanna see where this road goes, because I know there's more to be found, and I would rather fall while flying than keep my feet stuck on the ground.
So immediately a very minor thing, but a thing that I absolutely love, and it might be one of my favorite things on this whole song, is that screechy guitar string bend in like
Yes.
3 bars in, and I absolutely love that. To me, it's very Kings of Leon-esque. I love that. I'm a big fan of that.
So it was when I'd tracked guitars and bass, and I'd sat down to record just some lead licks all the way through, and I heard the first 2 bars of the intro, and I was like, you know what, this wants a huge guitar bend. So I smacked as much reverb on, had as much gain. It was just, it was just, and yeah, it sounds huge and it's awesome.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The other thing that I want to point out from the intro, which was there in that initial demo, but the more I listen back to it, the more I love it. The bass part, the way that flows, is amazing, because it starts high and it's like it smashes in. It's like ding, and then it comes down, and then it comes like down to that MIDI as the big bend comes in, and then as it drops into that first verse, down to that really, it just feels like it feels like everything's just being sucked down to the ground from floating up in the air. I don't like, again, praising myself is not something I do often, but that bass line, I'm so proud of that, because it just sounds amazing.
It is awesome. I think the thing that I'm sort of most proud about this song, I feel, is that I'm a big proponent of the idea of sort of like tension and release in music.
Yeah.
And I feel like we achieved that so well in so many different parts, and it just feels it's perfect.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's the intro is really, really thrashy and loud and big, and then you instantly suck it back in, as you were saying, you tighten up, and then you get into this really tight verse, and then as Andy was saying, it's all release and tension all the way through.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Then we instantly have that as we drop into the verse, you have that displaced drum beat that we were talking about, which is great.
So actually, before we move on to that, the other thing in the intro which made it through to the chorus is these high piano octaves.
Yeah.
Going sort of ding, ding, dinga, dinga, ding, which again just helps drive it through. Another arrangement point that people probably don't care about, but I enjoy.
Oh, this is Sam's baby. He's allowed to say what he wants.
My production baby.
Yeah. And then we went into that drum beat, which we've talked about, and anything else? I guess nothing else to add on that. I think we've exhausted.
So as it runs into the chorus, there's a few bits of arrangement in the chorus, and running into the smash after the chorus. So first off, it's like a pluck synth. We're like ding, 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 ding. I didn't want to commit to doing it really high C. I should have done it. It sounded much worse down low. But anyway, the little pluck synth, again, that's just it really did help build tension in the chorus. And then that as it smashes in, there's loads of little production tricks that you probably didn't hear. So the piano octaves are going sort of like and then there's a high guitar lead riff going do 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 do. Not quite like that, but you get it. Who knows? If I can be fucked, I might even put some little soloed examples from the production. I probably won't, because that's a lot more work, but who knows? If you see me saying that in the final video and you haven't had any solo bits of the production, then you know that I'm lazy, and call me out for it in the comments below.
Or tweet him.
Or tweet me at Stringy Bassist. Yeah. I used to be a bassist, don't you know? Then I got promoted.
I used to be a guitarist, don't you know?
Because we brought Nico
and now
in.
I got demoted. No hate on bassists.
No, bassists, they're the backbone of the band, but they also have the thickest skin because they have to accept being abused by the rest of the band all the time.
Oh, I managed
those guys are just assholes.
Yeah.
No, I write a lot of music. That's how I maintain worth.
Yeah, but you're slipping. If I can write songs, then what's the point of you, Nico?
Yeah, we're gonna have a serious discussion about our profit split here.
Oh dear. I don't like this. We're going to move on. I'm scared. So quickly before we talk about the bridge, I think we'll discuss the ending.
Yeah.
So we have the original ending you did with a outro solo by Sam Stringer himself.
I know there's more to be found, and I would rather fall while flying than keep my feet stuck on the ground.
So yeah, so when I did the first demo of this, it didn't have anything there. It was just sort of a slow, somber single guitar with the vocal over it, and I had this idea of just a little bit of guitar noodling over the top, and so I noodled in some guitar, and it was like hey Andy, this is kind of what I want. Add your Andiness to it, because I'm not a lead guitarist and I cannot solo for shit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so that
I shouldn't have said yes. That's so rude.
it's true. It's fine. But yeah, so
No,
that went.
It sounded cool.
Yeah,
It sounded cool.
you nicked a couple bits from it, I think.
I did.
But yeah, so that went away and came back with this new ending from Andy.
Because I know there's more to be had. I wanna see where this road leads. Because I know there's more to be found. 'Cause I'd rather fall while flying.
When we had this slow first verse again, I was super against it. I wanted us to jump back into the chorus and like just smash back into it, and that I thought that was the way to go. But I was very happy to be proved wrong by that.
Yeah, I like it. I like having a really clear.
On that note.
Sorry, go on, Andy.
Yeah, on that note, I was skeptical about having an outro solo at all at the start. I just wanted it to be the chords, but I think Sam's vision really came through in the end. He sold us on a lot, and it came out so cool.
I think it's
never again.
Yeah, I'm in a very privileged position in that place because I know that Nico, a lot of the time when you write stuff, you don't have a particularly clear vision of where you want it to go. It's just sort of you're happy for it to go where it goes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's difficult because I know that in comparison to Adam, who often does have a very clear vision of what he wants, but he's just not capable of demonstrating that. I'm in a very privileged place being a music producer that I'm able to execute these ideas exactly how I want them to sound. And that definitely helped with this song because it is a case that sort of I knew where I wanted it to go, and it was a case of proving those concepts, and I think I did.
Yeah. Great.
Smug smile on his face.
Oh yes.
And then we'll go back to the bridge, which is very much the centerpiece of the song.
Yes, definitely.
Stuff.
Yeah, I think we were all sort of we wanted this big release. I think, and I think that's the function that the bridge sort of serves.
Yeah, obviously, when I wrote it, it was just like I don't know. For me, it was never meant to be more than a big call and response section, but the fact that it ended up being quite a lot more than that was brilliant. I will play here a quick clip of the initial concept prover that I put in my demo, which is terrible, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Because we are young, and we never will grow old, and we are free to choose to not do as we're told, and we will know, but mostly we won't have a clue, and it's okay, but we do not know what to do.
And yeah, so from there, from having when it actually got to the point where I needed to record this big gang vocal, we were in lockdown, and so it put a bit of a spanner in the works because we couldn't all just get together and shout at microphones. Luckily, I was living with my family, so I lived in a house with 5 other people. I'll put a photo up now of them in their headphones looking happy. And yeah, we I got said, you all need to come and help me with a song. And they all were very, very obliging, and I want to thank them all for that, because they were a key part of this song, and this song wouldn't have happened without them.
The interesting thing is, I think they recorded those based off your vocals, didn't they? Not off Adam's.
Yeah, so we didn't have Adam's vocal at that point.
Yeah.
But it worked fine. The bridge didn't change in any way, shape, or form vocally. It was just a case that I was singing, not Adam, on the one that we were recording to. But yeah,
I think.
Yeah, go on.
I think Adam did a really good job on this song, because obviously we already had the backing vocals in. We already had the guitar noodly bits in, especially in the outro. I think were written before his vocal was in. So we did a really good job of blending with those. Nicely,
Yeah,
which
he did. He did a very good job,
especially when they're written around some different stuff.
Yeah, it was a good job of taking something that was done essentially, and he still did. Like he didn't change it massively, but he definitely did put his own swing on it. I like the bits at the end of the chorus. And I would rather fall while flying. That blew my mind when I first heard that. It was beautiful.
Such a lovely tone down there as well, on that sort of note. Those notes. The outro just sounds gorgeous, and I mean, as an EP closer, it's beautiful.
It's amazing. Going back to the bridge quickly. Just in case anyone cares production-wise on how I got 6 people to sound like a room full of people. It was essentially 3 microphones set up in something called a mid-side array. I'll put a picture up now showing what I did. So I basically set it up in front of my bedroom window, so I had a hard surface to reflect sound all around. Had the microphone pointing towards the window, and then I had a microphone set to figure 8, pointing either way at the walls. So that there was no microphone facing direct to the singers, basically, is the key to that. And then the mic facing the window was panned center, and the mic set to mid-side was duplicated, had the phase flipped, and then one was panned left and one was panned right. And it gave this really huge room sound. And as well as that, we sang it through about 9 or 10 times, layered all of those together, smashed a load of delay on it, smashed a load of reverb on it. And yeah, it ended up with this enormous sounding response to the call out, which was it sounded much better than I'd anticipated it could.
We are young, and we never will grow old, and we are free to choose to not do as we're told, and we will know that mostly we won't have a clue, and it's okay that we do not know what to do.
And I was very happy with it, to be honest.
It sounded huge. It was great.
Yeah. I remember when I first listened to that initial bounce with the gang vocals in, and I was sitting in my kitchen. I was like, oh yes,
yes,
it sounds immense. It's super exciting.
It was brilliant. And like, I think that's what really made it would have made or broken this song. It couldn't, because the rest of the song sounded so huge. If that had sounded crap, it would have sounded like a home produced record. It wouldn't have sounded anywhere near like what we would have wanted it. And to be honest, I'd have probably wanted the song to get shelved until we could record them properly. So I'm chuffed to bits that it came out so well.
No, I think it worked really nicely, because it managed to fit in with what we had both initially as the album and as the 2 EPs. It slotted in really well. We had a space for it pretty much, and we didn't have a song like this. I mean, also when we get to play this live, this will be so much fun to play. I'm very excited for that.
There's a lot of songs that we've got that I'm buzzing to play live though. I doubt there's many bands out there that have got pretty much, well, at this point, what, an album and a half, maybe 2 albums worth of songs.
We probably have 20 songs or so, yeah.
And we've never played any of them together. That's completely insane.
Yeah,
it is.
But really cool.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. just get into a room and just smash them out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Gonna be amazing. I have no closing remarks. It's
Okay.
it's a good song. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Well, I have one.
No.
God bless Stringer. That's my closing remark.
Yeah. Never say you can't songwrite, even if he tells you.
I am really glad that this song came out well, because it's something, I don't know. Every small band that I go and watch, I wish they had a song like this with a really sort of basic crowd engager that isn't. It is not a whoa. You're not singing along like a whoa. Like, that's too easy and too obvious to me almost. I think, yeah, I wish more bands had like songs like this, and I'm so glad that we have one, because it's just a good song, man.
Well, it's
Also,
also
one small
translating that
note.
concept to an actual recorded song. It came out so well, whereas you wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily always think that.
For sure. But one small note, when we finish this, it meant that every single member of Red Negative had written a song.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it really
Exactly.
sort of
Yeah.
solidified the fact that this is now sort of a band, but now a group project, which was
Well,
really
I-
a proud moment
yeah.
for me personally.
I love that everyone's contributed. It's not just a one person.
Affair.
Is in yeah, and I mean, no one could ever have said that Sam was shirking responsibility or not putting the effort in, because
No,
you don't know how much time he's put in doing all the recording, all the demoing, all the production work, and a lot of the socials as well. But yeah, no, it definitely really. It was really nice to make. Well, nice is a rubbish word, but it was really.
I'd go with
It
nice.
really, yeah. I mean,
It's
it was
nice.
just, it was wonderful that everyone was
Nice.
involved, because I mean, there were some projects where just one person writes the songs or two people write the songs, and I think it makes it a lot more varied and a lot more, hopefully, interesting.
It's
That's
nice.
not
It's
for
nice.
us to judge.
It's also nice to have something tangible that I can be like,
Yes.
I did this one. This one's mine.
Take a shot every time someone says nice.
Nice.
Yeah, if we have to.
It was
Yeah. Okay.
great song.
I hope that everyone enjoyed that and found that insightful. If you liked it, like the like button, as that just makes sense. Is now our catchphrase. But subscribe, follow our socials, keep tuned. If you want any more of these, put a comment, get in touch, tell us what you want, tell us whether you want us to do more of these, and whether you want Andy to be kicked out of the band.
Yeah. Who's the better guitarist, me or Andy?
Exactly. That's all for us.
Just
So
don't take guitar tone into consideration, because I'll lose.
Okay, well, goodbye from me. And
Bye.
Bye.
Because I know